Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to our 11th year of Miami Heat Beat podcast. Wow. With me today, producer and co-founder, my brother, Brian Goins.
11 years, man. Where has time gone?
Brian Michael Goins, you and I, baby. We started iPad Kitchen following LeBron's buzzer beater
you know
against
what?
Indiana.
I actually have that iPad still. You want me to pull it out?
Let's do a relic.
I haven't charged this thing in years, but I still have it.
That? Did you bring this
for
the show, or was it just around?
Look how awful condition it is.
That's how old that
you
was.
can obviously see us through the reflection, but look at the cracks on it.
Put that in a museum.
It's so
baby.
Bad.
That's the original.
Especially right here. This right here. Yeah. I tried trading it at one point, I think. I got like a quote for like $20, and I got this actually from a stipend I got from an internship in high school at the Miami Herald. They gave me like $800 that I could use on whatever I wanted to. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to write stories for the Herald, I want something nice that I can use. And obviously $800 is not enough to get you a computer, like a real good computer. So I was like I'm going to get myself an iPad. And I got the iPad with like the keyboard that connects to it. I was like looking like all cool at my Miami Herald desk, working on my iPad and my keyboard. And yeah, years later, I still kept it.
I was gonna. I didn't want to say it because it's a special day. I'm trying not to dunk on him.
I was like,
we ended up using that to start this podcast because we didn't actually have any good podcasting equipment. And back then, like podcasting wasn't as popular as it is now. Like you couldn't just go out to the store really to buy the gear that you needed. Yeah, we totally started podcasting. Like there was literally a book in high school that I had to read to learn how to produce a podcast. I kid you not. I think I even have that book still somewhere. Probably not in this room.
Go get it.
Yeah.
Cheers. By the way, I'm here, guys. What's up? Moose is in the house.
Moose, yeah.
Congrats, if it wasn't for that iPad, Moose, you wouldn't be here today.
I know. I feel
not your mom and your dad. They didn't create you. We did.
They had nothing to do with that. Yeah. I feel so honored to be here for you guys and to be with you. The Moose is loose. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. He knows. Congratulations on 11 years of being the best fan-run sports podcast. I don't know what the subgenre is, but you guys absolutely created it and revolutionized it and led the way for everybody else. So want to give you guys your flowers because you absolutely deserve it.
We were doing podcasting before people were really doing podcasting. 11 years ago, the podcast market was really Bill Simmons and then radio shows that were starting to put their podcasts, their show on podcasts.
For sure.
It wasn't like a thing. Yeah. Mics were not the USB mic was not in circulation at the time. You know what I mean? Like when Brian and I first started using mics, it was off of like an old mixer that my mom used for church that then was connected to the gear. So we've come a long way, and as I tweeted earlier, like this is a thank you to not just our staff, but our audience, our alumni, the media locally down here, from Jason Leisure, who was our first guest, all the way up to Dwayne Dedman and Bam and Josh Richardson, like all these players, Kelly Olynyk, like all these guys that have come on our show. To even the Heat PR staff who had very graciously, given us credentials for a few seasons, to Blue Wire, to Ethan and 5 Reasons, to all our friends, kind of around the space. So, man, it's just been a labor of love, and it's made every one of my dreams come true. It led me to a lot of great places and to meet great people. So, chat says, I sure invented the podcast. You're damn right I did. And we're not going to be self-involved. I just, it's our 11th year. Allow us to be a little bit self-indulgent. But in reality, the reason why we're potting today was we got some news on a TV deal for the NBA. And I know Moose is so happy. Moose has been waiting for this day.
This has been my story, guys. I have been tracking this for like 2 years now, okay? I've been waiting.
This is your hurricane season, isn't it?
This is what I'm fucking here for, guys.
Hurricane tracker. Can you pull up the hurricane tracker imaging? Do we still have that? Can we just use that? Just pretend like we're tracking the breaking news. I'm putting you on the spot. I'm so sorry.
Hurricane Peacock and Hurricane Prime Video.
Totally.
Yeah, no, G's not paying
attention.
Well,
while G looks to see if
my
we even have it
girlfriend
in our
called me and I
archives.
had to tell her I'm on air.
Oh my God, this guy gets a girlfriend. And all of a sudden,
Christ. Oh my God.
this guy gets a girlfriend, and all of a sudden it's like, congrats on the sex, dude.
Is this what the pod's about? G's girlfriend?
No,
Listen, it took 11
really
years. Let him shine. Let him shine.
It was
Fair,
a
very
self-indulgent exercise in Miami.
Someone's dating this guy.
Why
Send her that photo right now, G.
She's not gonna know what
Giante.
it is.
That's what we like to call that
She's
one.
not gonna know
Giante.
she's not gonna know what that is. Hi, Frankie.
Hi, G. Congrats on the sex.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
How are you guys doing?
Listen, we're doing great. I poured
Not as
myself
good as G, apparently.
some flat. I poured myself some flat rosé, so that's nice. It's been in my fridge for like a week. So, cheers to Miami Heat beat, and cheers to the final season of Inside the NBA, Moose.
First of all, it's not the final season of Inside the NBA. Next year will be the final season of the Inside the NBA. And I want to back up a little bit. First of all, we're going to break down all of the packages that the NBA is negotiating right now. If some of you follow Stream Beat Podcast, as it says right there, and you see my co-host on this side right there, we've been talking about that. I'll get it at some point. We've been talking about that for weeks. And G, I want to clarify something because you tweeted something earlier, and it's kind of what led to me being on the show today. You were saying, Adam Silver, how could you let this happen? What are you doing getting rid of
No, I specifically said, quote me nice, quote me right. I said, Adam Silver is never seeing the pearly gates.
Okay. First of all, you do not have to put the blame on Adam Silver, okay? It is Adam Silver's job to get the highest figure that he can for these media right deals because it benefits everybody, players, owners, executives, every single person that's associated with the league. The person that you have to be mad at is David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. Because 2 years ago when he took over as CEO, his first comments when they were asking him about the upcoming negotiations with the NBA was, we don't need the NBA. Boom. That sets off flares to Adam Silver like, this guy's not going to value us correctly. Let me start planning for the future and seeing what's going. And something that Frankie and I have discussed before is when you're doing these media right deals, they are long-term deals for 5, even up to 10-year deals. So you need to ask yourself, who are you betting your horse on? Who are you going to be tied to for the next 10 years? Are they going to withstand the upcoming changes? Amazon is absolutely going to be here in 10 years, withstanding the change. They are leading the change alongside with Netflix. ESPN, backed by Disney, will still be here. Warner Brothers Discovery is $40 billion plus in debt. When Zaslav took over, it was $60 billion in debt. They do not look like they have the longevity to withstand. I think they'll still be here in 10 years, but I don't think it's going to be the same company. I don't even think it's going to be Warner Brothers Discovery. I do think they're going to have to start selling off pieces at some point.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what pieces does Warner Brothers Discovery have? Obviously, like Discovery Channel is one of them. I think they had like their own streaming service that they no longer even have anymore. But what else is part of Warner Brothers
They merged
Discovery?
the two together.
Isn't that like TNT? I know because I've driven by Atlanta a few times. I've seen the building where they film everything. If you go downtown, you'll see the building where they film everything, NBA TV and all that stuff. But they have like Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, like all those are part of their company too. What else is part of it?
Yeah, I mean it's a wide range of shows, and it's
I'm guessing like their movies too, right?
They have True TV. They have all the Warner Brothers studios, all those films. But the point is that a lot of what Warner Brothers Discovery is are cable channels. And that's kind of the catch-22 of this. Yes, you need that to build your streaming service, but that's also what's dying off and kind of killing your streaming service at the same time. And that's where Warner Brothers Discovery is finding themselves at a serious disadvantage moving forward. Also, they just don't understand the direction of their company. Part of what I was saying earlier about why they're going to have to sell things off is they're mishandling HBO, the way that they're branding it and going about it. They're mishandling, as you can see now, TNT. TNT is not going to be the same without the NBA. And they're probably going to lose the AEW. That's the other thing that they have under their umbrella in terms of TNT Sports. You just saw them make a deal with ESPN for college football now that they have this extra money to spend. It's really going to change the dynamic of their entire company, which is, again, why David Zaslav is such an idiot for 2 years ago saying, we don't need the NBA. Yeah, buddy, you do. In today's world, you need live sports streaming. That's going to keep you afloat. And that's ultimately what's going to come to bite them in the ass now.
At least in the States, they don't really have those premier sports, because I know in the UK they have Champions League on TNT, right? Which is like, really, big in the UK and all that. But Moose, I guess my question kind of to you, who's kind of the expert here, is, obviously the really sad thing about losing the NBA on TNT is, like, obviously, like, their coverage is pretty unparalleled. I think that just the quality of
the best
video.
Studio show of all time.
Now, I'm not even going into this. We'll get to the studio show. I'm talking about, like, from Kevin Harlan to just the quality of cameras that they have, the graphics package that, I mean, listen, we all watch the NFL on CBS. We all watch ESPN. We all watch all these, like, bigger companies have considerably worse production value when these companies are way bigger. And I think, chat says Bally. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of dog shit ass product, and we're losing kind of that artistry that Turner has given, not even getting into the inside stuff, which we'll get into, but that part of it, I think, is going to be lost, because I thought the coverage was an art. I thought it was the most pleasant viewing experience from a lot of angles, from the overlays to the graphic packages to the mic quality and the camera quality, which, again, is just so much better than any other.
The announcers, that's part of the package too.
Yeah,
I feel like they had the best play-by-play announcers. Kevin Harlan is one of them. Obviously,
I like Reggie Miller.
He's the one that we all listen back to every single time we watch that Jimmy Butler highlight from Game 5 or Game 5. Yeah, Game 5.
Long shot, good.
So yeah, I'll definitely miss all of that if they end up not being part of this next media rights deal. So
well, it looks like they're juiced. They're juiced. It's over.
A couple things here. First of all, I agree with everything you're saying. TNT's coverage of the NBA is far superior than everybody else's, and it's why they get all the awards and recognition every year. But here's some things that I think can happen. We don't know what's going to happen for sure, but these are possibilities. I think you're going to see it, especially with Charles Barkley. A lot of these people, once they lose the NBA rights, they're going to be free agents. And I hate to say that because you're talking about people losing their jobs, but that presents an opportunity for Amazon, who is, let's not forget, endless amounts of money, but they're still building out their entire departments. They have an NFL department now. Now they need to build out an NBA department.
Yeah, the Thursday Night Football. And what else do they have, Amazon? This Thursday Night Football
So Amazon is got their fingers a little bit in the Bally's situation. They would like to get all of those regional.
Right. I forgot about
They would like to acquire all those regional sports rights, which, again, just boosting the Amazon stock and the portfolio that they have of sports. What I think you could see ultimately here is probably them approaching David Zaslav and saying, listen, what do you want for Atlanta? Name a price. Boom. We will buy everything. And just everybody, their checks instantly just move from Warner Brothers to Amazon. They don't lose anything. I think you could see a lot of that.
Ernie Johnson has said, like, I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to leave if they get bought out.
What's the rumor about him possibly retiring? Is that really true?
Listen, I don't know, Ernie. Maybe he actually is going to retire. If I was a betting man today, there's two situations that I ultimately see could happen. One, inside the NBA is not going anywhere. It's going to be bought by somebody else and moved to another platform. And if I was a betting man, it would be Amazon. Maybe Ernie stays behind or retires and they have another person. Or let's say here, if it moves to NBC, I think Mike Tirico is probably their in-house guy to replace Ernie.
Italian.
Well, I have a question on that, Moose, because I'm curious. What we really like TNT the most, especially, is like the playoff coverage that they do. Especially, I know they do like the Tuesday and Thursday night games during the season, the regular season, but it's really the playoffs. Especially when we get to like the Western Conference Finals, which I know they have the package for. Is Amazon the one that's going to be taking some of those playoff games away from TNT, or is it going to be NBC taking those playoff games?
I'm glad you asked, because I actually have the updated breakdown here. A couple of weeks ago, Franky and I did a pod, and we were speculating on the numbers and what packages were going to go where. We have a little bit of a clearer picture, so if you don't mind, I'm going to break it down really quickly. ESPN Disney is spending $2.8 billion annually for the A package. Think of it this way. ESPN Disney side, nothing's changing. They're getting the finals. They're getting a conference final every year, the WNBA, and shared international rights. Those shared rights will be with Amazon, who originally we thought Amazon was going to get the B package, but that's actually going to NBC. NBC is going to be paying 2.5 to 2.6 for the B package, which is 2 weekly broadcasts, one of which will be Sunday nights after the NFL season, a conference semifinal, and the other conference finals, kind of like what they do now. It goes back and forth every year between the two conferences. And then Amazon coming in for 1.8 to 2 billion annually for the C package. They'll be getting the recently rebranded NBA in-season tournament as the new Emirates NBA season tournament, the SoFi play-in tournament, the first round of the playoffs, WNBA streaming rights, and international rights for both leagues. Now, originally, we all thought that Warner Brothers was going to have to match the NBC one. And I think legally that is the package that they have to match, since that's what they're losing. But they're trying to claim now, and maybe take it to court, that no, we don't have to match the 2.6 one because they don't have the money for that. But we want to match Amazon's at 1.8, 1.2, or 1.8 or 2 billion.
They meaning Turner.
Exactly. They meaning Turner. Yeah. Listen, Zaslav has finally seen that if they lose the NBA, he's, got a lot of shit coming for him. But I also think it's just too far down the road for them to make this play. They don't have the money. And I legitimately think NBA does not want to be in business with Warner Brothers anymore. They don't want to be in business with David Zaslav. I cannot bet on David Zaslav for the foreseeable future, but I can bet on Amazon, can bet on Peacock. And let's be honest, Amazon, what they do for you in terms of the analytics and getting so into the consumer profile and all that you can't pass that up. That's the way all of these things are going. Everything about the Amazon NBA merger to me makes sense and is good for the league moving forward. I genuinely think, I'm sad to see TNT lose the rights, but I genuinely think these packages are going to be beneficial to the league moving forward.
Frankie, do you see how excited Moose is?
I love this. I love this.
I laugh so hard because this is his wheelhouse, but he also said that if he was a gambling man, which we've all seen his screenshots.
Yeah. You are a gambling man. It's not if that was. I've seen this man. I've seen the things he bets on.
I'm hot right now, though. I'm hot.
It's disgusting.
Are you betting on Panthers games right now?
No. I didn't do any bets last night, but I bet it all for tonight.
Brother,
so we'll
Panthers games? This man is betting on Scandinavian hockey team.
Yeah. Oh my God, there was a ping pong thing last night. Cleaned up. I don't know what the scoring thing is, but I cleaned up.
Those parlays are getting to you.
Frankie, this joy that he's exhibiting, we had a hippie brunch on Sunday. We went to Flower and Weirdos, Christian, me, Lou, Pablo, everybody that's local and their partners. We all went together. Moose the whole fucking drive, talking my ear off about the TV deal, and then Zaslav this and Adam Silver that, and he's like, "Gee, you just don't understand. It's not Adam Silver's job to please people." And
I was getting so mad at you.
The NBA.
This was exactly our episode on Streambeat. This is Moose's wheelhouse. This is so his passion.
I've never seen him this. Do you see that smile? Tyler Hero.
This is the first time I've showed up with notes to this pod.
Quadruple.
Is that fucking Moleskin? Who the fuck are you, Joe Cronin?
Sorry.
That he could clone Tyler Hero.
He's telling Adam Silver, "Don't settle. Don't settle."
Never said
exactly.
Never.
I'm telling him to go for the highest bid possible.
So that's kind of like the layout of the land in terms of what we're going to expect from a TV deal. Obviously, losing inside seems pretty inevitable. I think that's the thing that most people care about. I mean, listen, they're the best video show
as it is today. Losing it as it is
well,
today.
Chuck said, "I'm not doing it without Ernie," and Ernie doesn't seem to want to do it anywhere else. So if Chuck and Ernie don't do it, and Chuck has said, Shaq's just not going to do this if it's not here.
I think Shaq is where we could see the dismantling of it inside the NBA. And please, anybody else, feel free to jump in. But I think when you look at it
without Shaq longer than they've done it with Shaq. So it's
not only that. We know how Shaq is. Shaq right now in TNT in that bubble is okay being the third option or the second option, behind Charles Barkley.
Right.
Now when this all comes up,
option. He speaks a third
now when this all comes up, he's going to say either give me the exact same thing that Charles Barkley is going to make, which isn't going to happen because Charles Barkley is going to set a record at what he gets. He's probably going to get, I think the floor is $20 million a year for
what
Charles
does Stephen
Barkley.
A have? That's an unfair question to ask you.
Yeah, I don't know that one right now.
I can look that up.
But I think he's due for a new contract soon, so he's going to clean up as well. So I think Shaq could say, give me the exact same thing as Charles, or I'm going to get a similar offer from Disney, ESPN.
Are we sure that Chuck is going to keep doing this?
Yes, 100%.
You think?
He was just on Dan
you
Patrick
are up for the biggest payment of your life right now.
From Front Office Sports, Stephen A. Smith could command $20 million in free agency. Just a few years ago, Smith was believed to be the company's highest paid talent at ESPN, making $12 million annually.
Yeah, so exactly. The floor for Charles Barkley is $20 million.
Okay, I have a proposal.
He's been leapfrogged by Monday Night Football's duo of Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. Troy Aikman making $18 million and Joe Buck's making $15. So
we know what free
agency is. And Pat McAfee's
is.
making $15 million. Holy shit!
It's all about timing.
What are we doing,
guys?
All about timing.
Studio show. We got Chuck. We got Stephen A. We bring in Kate Abdo, and we need a fourth.
What's that?
And we got a show. Imagine Chuck and Stephen A. yelling at each other. Stephen A. might kill the vibe though. It's a risky thing.
And that's
can we get the girl who's been hitting on Shams on the show?
Kate Abdo's better.
I love her.
You get Kate Abdo. You pry her out of CBS. You just pry her out of CBS. I'm sorry, Thierry Henry. I'm sorry, Micah Richards. I'm sorry, Jamie.
Well, she was on that Good Morning Football show. I forget her name.
She does. She's a host of the Champions League Today studio show, which is, to be honest with you,
I don't care about her. I want
the only
Kay Adams.
thing
There you go.
that's as good as
Kay Adams on the show.
But think about what I was saying, though. Don't you think that the person in that crew that could probably branch out to want to do more of their own thing or get more of the limelight is Shaq? I don't trust Shaq moving somewhere else and taking the same role if it's a different crew. I think if it's the same crew.
Shaq's good on that show because he's good with Chuck. I don't know, Franky.
I totally agree.
I just don't think that Shaq can helm an offense in terms of being an analyst.
But that's not what a studio.
Also, he mumbles a lot, and I can't understand half the things he says.
We've seen Shaq with Lefko, D Wade, and Candace Parker, and it's just not the same. It's
very
not the same
forgettable.
effect.
And by the way, D Wade and Candace Parker, A1.
Of course, I like Lefko too, but it's just not the same. They don't have the chemistry and the timing, the comedic timing that the OG crew has. So it's just not the same. I feel like Shaq would get humbled real quick if he tried to go solo.
I think Kenny's more important to that than Shaq is. I just think that what Kenny gives and Kenny's kind of rapport with Chuck is the best.
Totally agree.
I'm kind of sick of his bit of running over to the monitor.
No, but it's worth it because one of the times, the big guys will fall, and that's always funny.
It's always worth it.
It's a long con.
It's a long con.
Can we have Nikias break down those halftime plays?
Ooh.
Yeah, just get Nikias and Steve Jones. So, I don't know. I'm really sad that Inside looks to be done. I don't agree with Moose. I think Chuck, I don't know how many of these guys are going to go do other things. NBC for sure is going to have, going to have to make a play at people. They're going to have to fill, a studio.
There's a lot of open spots and a lot of money to be spent.
I just don't really know who at Turner. I also wonder how this affects NBA TV because I know a lot of those employees are also Turner employees.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that you're seeing Amazon spend a little bit less on the overall packages, I am waiting for the announcement that Amazon is going to get a piece of NBA TV, be more involved with the what's the NBA League Pass. I think they're going to be the ones that are going to be handling all of that.
League Pass sucks so much ass. They need to fix it.
Well, great. Now, who's the best person to take it over now and fix it for you? I think Amazon is in position to really be big players within the NBA and take over a lot of that other stuff. NBA Store too, yeah.
Yeah, so there's I don't know, there's quite I think there's a lot of interesting going in to kind of, the coming seasons. Brian, let's talk a little bit about kind of how this affects the product on the court. So now obviously we don't have figures yet or anything, but the last time the NBA had a huge TV deal. There was a huge cap spike. The Warriors got Kevin Durant, and that's all she wrote until the Raptors dethroned them.
So it's our time.
Yeah, so what? Just reading off. Yeah, I already kind of assumed your question. Go ahead. Ask your question. I have your answer.
Go. Let's see. Listen.
No, ask the question for
11 years and the chemistry is still banging.
Set it up.
We have been together longer than Chuck and Shaq have. Let's put it that way.
Ask your fucking question.
Can you explain to the audience how the cap smoothing is going to work for this upcoming TV deal and why we won't have a situation like we did in 2014, 15, 16, whenever that was?
I'm glad you asked. So based off the latest agreement in the collective bargaining agreement, otherwise known as the CBA, which was signed last July 1st of what, 2023? We're 24. 2023. The NBA and NBA PA, Players Association, locked in salary cap smoothing of up to 10% increases throughout the course of the CBA. Right now, that avoids any increasing cap spikes that come with obviously they were anticipating the new media rights deal, which will begin in 2025. So basically what that means is the NBA salary cap, even if they make, because it's based off. So the way the salary cap works is they spend these first 7 days during free agency basically doing like an audit of all of their different revenues that they've generated over the course of the season. And based off those revenues, I think it's called BRI. I can't remember what that acronym stands for.
Basketball related.
But basically,
income.
it's just basketball related, revenue income. So that income that they generate from that season, they basically put it together into this giant pot that gets split, I believe, 49%, I believe, is the split. It used to be more for the owners than the players. I think this last collective bargaining agreement is now 51-49. I'll probably double check that after this. But just basically, they're splitting it between the owners and players. The players basically get that percentage from that basketball-related income. And then what they do is they use that to create the salary cap that we all know and love. And with that salary cap, obviously, the NBA puts, because it's a smooth, it's like a soft salary cap. It's not like a hard cap where every team has to hit this specific number and you can't cross exactly that number. You can go over it. They have exceptions. That's why there's all these different types of different ways to acquire players with the MLE, the veteran exceptions, signing trades, all that stuff that lets you go over the salary cap. So not every team is stuck to a specific number that they have to reach or have to spend or don't have to spend. But basically where I'm getting at is, the NBA said, we're not doing what we did back then, what the Warriors got with Kevin Durant, able to basically create like $30 million in cap space magically that summer when they already had 3 All-Stars on a roster. They're not going to let that happen again because they're capping it at 10%, even if they made more than that 10% increase in that NBA season. So what that means is basically it's like almost like a phone plan where you have like these rollover minutes. They're just going to roll over that increase over the next coming seasons. It's going to be at 10% increases consistently for probably throughout the course of the CBA until they come up with a new agreement, and maybe they won't have this 10% increase by then because maybe the players would be like, hey, we're losing out on a lot of money now. Can we get rid of this 10% increase? Like this media rights deal, like we should be making more than this 10% increase. So maybe they might bump that 10% up to 15, 20%, who knows? But right now it's stuck at 10% increases. And what that means is over the next 4 seasons, the salary cap for next season is projected right now at 141 million. That's the salary cap for next season. It would go up to 155 million for 2025. And then for 2026, we'll go up to 162, 2027, 170. I got 2028 at 179, 2029 at 188. That's a lot of money. And the salary cap, so max contracts are tied to a percentage of that cap for that league year. So any player that's signing a max contract, which the highest you can get is a super max, it's 35% of the salary cap. You're talking 35% of a possible 2029 salary cap of 188 million. And there was a great tweet by Keith Smith where he was saying, fun with numbers, during the 2028-2029 salary cap year, which this cap would top just about $200 million, a 35% max salary projects to be about $72 million per year, with 8% increases if you have their full bird rights. That 5th year salary on that max deal would be worth $95 million. The total course of that 5-year deal would be worth $419 million. for 5 years on a Supermax contract, 35% signed in the year 2028-2029 season. Yeah, that's insane. That means pretty much we're going to have $1 billion athlete by the time their playing career is over. Yeah.
Wemby's going to
just off their contract, not off endorsements or anything.
So how does this affect Nikola Jovic?
Brian, what I did want to ask you, and it's unfair, you probably don't have this off the top of your head, but you talked about at some point the players are going to want more than that 10%. I totally agree, especially with when you see what the final numbers are on this media deal. Is there any, they just signed their CBA, but is there any opt-out maybe after 6 or 7 years that where we can kind of start anticipating maybe a lockout of some sort? Maybe they're going to start fighting for more money, because there is going to be a huge boost of money coming in with this media rights deal. Yeah. I'm sure they plan for it, but it's another thing once it actually happens.
That's a good question. So the current agreement that was ratified by the NBA Players Association on July 1st, 2023, that's when it took effect. It runs through the course of the 2029-2030 season, which I just told you guys about. Where if that 35% max contract was signed, that player is basically making $500 million in their 5-year contract. Both sides have the ability. That means either the player's side or the owner's side, the NBA itself. They both have the ability to opt out of their current CBA following the end of that 2028-2029 season, meaning we got next season, the year after, 4 or 5. We're down 6 years with this current collective bargaining agreements before they can even renegotiate. So, yeah, 6 more years before we even get those kind of discussions happening again.
There you go. So, we were talking yesterday about kind of like the way that these player contracts have gotten inflated. And I think it's pretty funny how, these Supermax contracts really just absolutely decimate team building. And this is a product of the owners trying to fuck players, essentially, because earlier, if you guys remember, there was like 5, 8, 10-year deals that don't exist anymore, right? So, Brian, the longest you can sign is for 4 years, correct?
It used to be 6-year contracts. That's actually the last.
8. At some point, there used to be 8.
Well, yeah, that's what
I'm saying. So, like,
the league, when I started following.
The league slowly were trying to cut those contracts short because they didn't want to be stuck. So then what happened is players just kept leaving these markets. And the ownership didn't understand. It's like, oh, that's why we want to keep them locked up. So what they did to keep them from leaving was introduce the Supermax, which hasn't really stopped them from leaving. And what it's really done is sign and then force a trade because the contracts are so short. You have leverage. If they have an 8-year contract, you can't ask out 2-3 years into a deal. You still got 5 years left, buddy. You're going to give all that up. So that's kind of the issue with owners, and that's kind of the bed that they've made. So the players are going to now live with these huge, bloated, small contracts, and that's a creation that they made themselves. So I don't feel bad for them. I think the players are going to get a lot of what they want, and I think that this TV deal is perfect leverage, especially as the cap smoothing. By the time that their CBA is up for renegotiation, they're going to have a much clearer picture on the basketball revenue, on the cap smoothing, and all that, and they're gonna soar. Now the players have shown that they're not very good at negotiating.
I have some fun facts about the way the contracts.
This better be fun.
So I'll start from the 5th highest to the 1st highest in terms of how long their contracts were. I want you to take a guess who number 5 might be.
So what am
I? These are all all-star players. You're just gonna guess who the players were, and these are players that we all know. These are probably players back in the 90s. Basically 80s, 90s. So talking Michael Jordan era around that time. So number 5, you want to take a hint at who had the 5th longest contract signed by a player.
Longest?
Yeah. So not by how much money they made, just the amount of years that they had on our contract. You'll be surprised how long number 1 is, I think.
I don't even know where to guess.
I know Magic had like a long contract. It was
like a 10-year deal, right?
Yeah, he had something like that.
Okay, well, I guess we'll skip right away to number 1. So Magic Johnson had the longest contract signed.
Great game.
What? Gave me all of NBA history. Pick a name.
Okay,
right?
Magic Johnson signed a
game.
25-year deal with the Lakers.
Pool of players. This man's like every fucking player that has ever existed.
Yes. Horace Grant.
I was trying to limit a year errors. This is a bad game. Obviously, we didn't plan this before.
Terrible game.
This is
Magic Johnson, number 1. I'll just go to number 1. Fuck all the other players. Number 1.
Who's number 2?
Signed a 25-year deal with the Lakers in 1981.
25?
Dr. Buss, the team's 25-year deal. The team's owner,
that was
Dr.
Magic?
Buss.
Yeah, Magic.
Magic. He admitted it was a publicity stunt, and Magic would earn as much as his rivals, depending on the market. Yeah, crazy.
Another thing Zaslav fucked up. Should have come back for another season.
Would never do that.
Yeah, LeBron would never. Actually, I read something today, and it makes total sense.
25 years, $25 million, by the way.
The 1+1 contract, I think they were talking about that possibly with Klay Thompson, because you saw it last year with Bruce Brown, where they get, a high average with an option year. I could see maybe that kind of becoming like the new wave.
Well, I mean, stars were doing that. Role players didn't really do that, but it was mostly like LeBron or guys were just like
right. Of
LeBron
course,
maintaining leverage in Cleveland constantly with those 2+1, 1+1 deals. Yeah.
Well, that's because he didn't trust the ownership there,
as he shouldn't have.
Of course not.
He's not going.
But let's not speak too badly about them because we're trying to get a deal done. So, nice people.
This is prior.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of the gist of what's going on with these tier rates. Moose, I don't know if you had anything else that you feel is like super germane to kind of what we're going on or what the people. And if you guys have questions in chat, please feel free to ask Moose. Moose is a wealth of information.
Yeah, feel free. The only thing I'm going to say is that, and I kind of hinted at it a little bit earlier, that I fully expect Amazon to get their hands into the NBA way more than even what's being reported right now. I'm talking NBA League Pass. Something interesting that was happening on NBA League Pass earlier this past season that I noticed at least was they weren't cutting to commercial breaks. They were showing the in-arena feeds during all these commercial breaks. Amazon's the perfect person to get this now. They're going to be like, okay, we're going to take out those in-arena feeds during commercial breaks, and we're going to do targeted local ads for each person watching. Why? Awful. Because they are a streaming giant and they can do it. These are the types of benefits that you're going to get.
Are they a streaming giant?
They're working on it. Yeah. When you have a deal with the NFL, when you have a deal with the NBA, they are not the market leader like Netflix is, which, Franky, we were talking about this on our pod. We were surprised that Netflix wasn't involved with the NBA. Little did we know they were negotiating a really sweet deal with the NFL for Christmas Day games. So they sat out the NBA trying to secure the NFL. Probably smart for them. I think this is a huge coup for Amazon, though, to solidify themselves. Especially if you're a sports fan, you need to have Prime now.
Why is the NFL infringing on Christmas?
Because it's more money.
Why are they?
It doesn't fall on a Sunday this year. It's more money to bring in another player. And if you're the NFL, if you're any of these teams, you want a deal with Netflix. Don't get it twisted. NBA had their sights set on Netflix. Netflix just didn't come to play. Amazon did. They'll take it. But Netflix is the global leader in streaming. If you are on Netflix, you are everywhere. And it's why the NFL took a little bit less, because Amazon actually bid on the Christmas Day games and had a higher bid than Netflix. But nope.
I think of Amazon
it means
streaming
something to be on Netflix.
I don't know. I think of Amazon streaming as like, I don't know, just not a...
The interface is not good. The user interface, I agree, is not good, but it probably will get better.
I gotta be honest. I'm out on Netflix. Netflix is like, you have to get your own account. You're on a different IP address. And I go, what is going on? This is my family. I can't watch Dungeon Meshi on Netflix right now anymore. I have to pirate it like a fucking buffoon. I'm watching anime, airplayed from my laptop. What year is this? Because fucking Netflix says I'm not related to my family anymore. So I think on Netflix. Yeah, so that's, I don't know. You guys got stuff for Moose or whatever? I mean,
so Moose, how did the NBA, because basically they've already planned starting doing some of the stuff with Amazon, because League Pass, I think for the first time last year, was actually, you could buy League Pass on your Amazon Prime account. That wasn't a case in previous years.
You could?
You could.
That's how I had it. I I didn't have.
How did that
Pass.
even
That's
happen before they even had the rights to it?
So the way that it works with Fire or Prime or whatever you want to call it is it's basically a one-stop shop to be able to access all these different things. So, for example, you want Warner's Max app, you can find it on Amazon. These are different outlets to get your stuff out there. So the NBA, it's almost, think of it almost like a licensing deal where, yeah, we'll license out our app to you and then people through your channel can pick it up. You're seeing that a lot now, especially like, for example, I know Comcast does that a lot with Netflix. If you have a Comcast box in your house, you can use Netflix through the Comcast box. It's just a distributing system.
It's a glorified Netflix machine.
Basically. That's
what my PlayStation 4 has become. I don't play games on it. I just boot up Crunchyroll on it.
Nice. You should tell your girlfriend that.
She knows.
One good thing.
Do you see that
NBA.
stuff in the back?
Let's ask G. You know what? Forget asking me.
You see all that
Let's
stuff
ask G questions.
That didn't scare anybody off. What all the anime?
Have you added any new items there lately? No.
We're still.
Anyway, CJ McCollum's term as president is about to end.
Thank God, he stinks.
Year. So that probably helps the NBA, the Players Association. They want to.
Low key, he's not doing a single thing right now. Like none of the vice presidents. There's literally nothing to do. They've already agreed to a long 8-year contract. Like they have nothing to talk about.
He's doing nothing
at least
on
7 or 6 years.
8-year contract, but we just talked about it and opt out in 6. I don't think that's something we should necessarily think is
2028, 2029.
Not going to happen.
No, 2029, 2030. I said. Oh yeah, but they have an opt out following 2028 9 season. Okay.
Yeah.
So still opt out after what?
I don't think it's totally crazy to think that there's going to be a lockout in 6 years. Now, I think it would be wrong for them to do a lockout.
I don't think.
Well, maybe not lockout, but opt out and renegotiate something else.
Yeah.
I do think that the players are going to see a lot of money on the table to fight for.
I'd be surprised if there's a work stoppage. Obviously, that's a long time from now, but I think after that other work stoppage, I don't think we're going to have another work stoppage in a long time. That was pretty bad, and I don't think anybody was happy, including.
And I don't think we'll get to that point.
We can't predict it though, because this is a whole new generation. This is a whole new generation of players. LeBron might actually be out of the league by then, but
yeah.
I mean, and he won't.
He'll never leave us alone.
Bronny will take his place.
But
they'll probably fight for other things.
Maybe it's not the players that want to opt out. Maybe it's the owners. We're talking about these massive salaries that are about to come. What if the owners get tired of paying guys who shouldn't be max players, but because of the position they're in, they get these massive max contracts?
Boo fucking who?
I'm just saying, somebody's going to be fighting over these money issues.
Motherfucker, I don't care about Charlotte. I don't care about your shitty city that nobody wants to live in. I don't care. Nobody wants to be there. There is nothing you can do to keep people there. Why? Because it's fucking Charlotte. Because it's fucking Milwaukee.
I mean, some players feel that way about Toronto.
A foreign guy into staying. It's an awful place. There's like 3 nice cities in this country. Because so much of it is awful. No, there's no rant. It's just like, who are these owners thinking? You wanted the max. Amin Al-Hassan talks about this all the time. The Charlotte Hornets voted for the Supermax. Kemba Walker, All-NBA, they did not vote for the Supermax. They don't even want to use it, and then they bitch when he left. How about you run your fucking team good?
Ryan Spravero brings up
did a great
expansion.
Job. Sam Presti is not complaining. He does his job well. And guess what? That might be the worst city. That might be the worst NBA city.
Yeah, he makes a good point. This is how they get the salaries under control. They have to dilute the league, and so the money gets spread out.
It's coming, in the league right now.
It's coming.
Derek Jones Jr. is a rotation player. The talent's thin.
Al Lowry is a rotation player.
Cole Swider's about to play heavy minutes for the Heat next season. We cannot afford expansion.
Gee, shut the fuck up, Moose.
We're back, baby. This is classic.
If the league expands, does the money that's in this media rights deal, does it become even larger under the course of the contract, or is that already kind of like, is that something that the as they're negotiating with these bids that they already presume is happening?
It's already baked in. I'm sure it's already baked in. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to expand next year, but it is 100 billion trillion% happening. The money is there. The cities want it. It's just a matter of.
It has to be two teams. You can't just have one.
Right. It'll be Seattle. My guess is Vegas. They're going to open Vegas at some point. I don't know if that'll be in the first round, but Vegas is coming.
Why do we need more teams?
Because the money's there. G, follow the money.
What's wrong? Why do we want a worse league?
Oh no, I don't want it. I want the talent.
I can't wait for the expansion draft.
I don't want a diluted league. I don't understand.
I'm
100%. I'm 100%
for. Players can heat protect in the expansion.
Let's take the team away from Charlotte.
It's usually
let's take the team away from Oklahoma City. What other bad city is there in the NBA? Milwaukee. Why do they need a team?
Toronto.
What about Nashville?
Whoa, slow down. Toronto's one of the great cities in the world.
The players don't think so.
Nashville. Nobody wants to. No team in the deep south. Only Atlanta.
Miami's.
Okay, what 8 players from the Heat should we protect? You think we should protect Jimmy, or should we let him walk?
At that age, let him walk.
Yeah.
Okay. Bam, we gotta protect. Tyler, I let him walk. Terry, I let him walk for sure.
My God,
fucking Terry, he can go.
Wait a second. I want expansion. You think we could trick a team to taking Tyler?
I think so.
We could do that?
Oh, I thought that was the out. I was staying quiet. Sorry.
No.
Should we protect Drew Smith?
No. Hell no.
Drew Smith? No. I will fucking pay you to take him.
You should cut him now.
Yes.
He's already been cut.
Brian's like, do I got good news for you?
Now, listen, I will, the only guys I'm trying to protect.
8 players is a lot. Why do we have to
Spo.
protect 8? 8's way too many. They should only protect 5.
I think we got to protect Drew Smith over Tyler Hero in this situation. I think we need to make Tyler Hero an attractive pick for one of these people.
Slider.
Oh my God, are other teams going to be doing the same thing, try to like get people to take their bad contracts? Oh my God. See, this is the game within the game.
Oh, now you want to expand.
Where it gets
No, now I'm in. Now I'm in.
Now you like it.
Now I'm in. Let's give it to Seattle and Mexico City.
Mexico City. Well, Mexico City. I bet you Mexico City is actually in discussion. Do I think
I just want to see Ira Winderman roam the streets of Mexico City. I think that'd be a funny visual.
Once again, this guy commenter makes another great point. Miami was once an expansion team, bro.
Absolutely.
The only nice cities in America: Miami, Chicago, New York, San Francisco. That's it. All the other cities stink. Sorry to break it to you.
Oakland was a better basketball town than San Francisco.
Yeah, but San Francisco is a nicer city.
San Diego deserves a team.
No, it doesn't. It's San Diego.
They lost their chance.
Move the Kings. Move the Kings.
Brian's like obsessed with people that like San Diego. Just are boring people that just want to live in the suburbs. It's like San Diego is like the final form of the suburbs. LA, awful city. It's like if you made Miami the worst possible.
I agree with that. That's why
LA
San Diego's
is
better.
Such a dog shit place. It's awful, bro. I fucking hate it. Unless you're a celebrity, it's awful.
I mean, Miami has Ron DeSantis. I don't think you can.
No, we don't have, I mean, thankfully we don't live in Florida, but we are governed by Florida. It's this weird thing. So chat's saying Chicago's a great city. Chicago's amazing.
Chicago is an amazing city. I love Chicago.
Chicago's like New York, but cleaner.
It's nothing like New York.
But cleaner.
It's cleaner. It's nothing else. It's nothing like
Colder,
New York. Though.
Windier.
It's way colder.
Colder.
Windy City.
It's the most sustainable big city in America.
It's great. 11 years, guys. Can you believe it? 11 years.
What's everyone's favorite Heat beat moment? Let's go around the room.
The invention of drip drop. Next.
Okay. You have a favorite Miami Heat beat moment?
The invention of stream beat. Next.
Yeah, that's my guy.
I thought you guys were gonna try to high five through the cameras.
Moose still doesn't know what side I'm on.
Trying to get to that side.
That's the right side. That's the right side. Brian, do you have a favorite Miami Heat beat moment?
I do, actually. It was when both you and Alf were covering the Dwayne Wade, Udonis Haslem 800-degree fire kitchen event. And Alf was complaining because Tim Reynolds ratted on you guys because he said he was wearing a purple suit, and then Tim Reynolds came after us and pretty much revoked our credentials from the Heat. So if you guys are listening, appreciate y'all for doing that.
That's not why our credentials got revoked.
Our second best moment was when we had the guy who used to be a camera guy. I think
you're so bad at this story. You're not telling the story.
You're not a good storyteller.
He's not a good storyteller. He's not a good storyteller. We had the Bang Bros. We had the Bang Bros CFO on when they were doing the naming rights deal.
Rest in peace, by the way.
Yeah.
What he died.
Wow. What this is supposed to be a nice segment where we all talked about, you know, like a moment from this in the last 11 years that meant something. Brian used 2 meme pics and incorrectly. Didn't even tell the Tim Reynolds story right because Alf called it a Kings of Comedy suit, and that's why Tim Reynolds got angry. Alf didn't say he wore a purple suit because if Alf said on air he wore a purple suit, yeah,
you know, also called Grimace.
That was before the Grimace phenomenon.
Oh, okay.
And then Brian, for some reason, had us interviewing a cameraman for a porn company.
I didn't do that. That was Christian's idea.
It was me and Chris's idea.
And you guys, we actually did it once. You remember, you guys recorded it. You didn't. It didn't record somehow, and then you had to call him back up and redo the entire interview.
Hey, we got to redo the interview on set, right?
And then days later, we tried to apply for our credentials to do media day, and we got surprisingly we didn't get accepted.
Brian's saying shit on air that he shouldn't say, and so happy anniversary.
I just realized the darkest fucking here.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Well, nobody took this seriously. I guess, you know, it's
Gee, what was your favorite moment?
I have many. I still think the episode that Alf hosted where we talked about Harrison's shirt is still, I think, the funniest and most heat beat moment ever. Or just Justice Better in general, like the song. I thought that was like really. So those are two.
I think came in a 6-pack.
I think Black in Time is really funny, and
the mechanic legend.
But I think the one that I think made me laugh the most,
that legend.
Jason Leisure. When we did our 100th episode, we had a lot of people send us like audio clips, like congratulating us while also dunking on us. Jason Leisure had the funniest one ever, and he just. If you guys don't remember Jason Leisure, he used to be a beat writer for the Heat, then became a Dolphins beat writer, and then became a Bears beat writer, and I don't know what he's doing now.
Well, the Dolphins killed him, and then I think the Bears put him out of his misery. So.
Is he still sports writing?
I don't know. The last time I heard him was actually on an interview with
he writes for the Bears,
where he talked about the Miami Dolphins really just like really getting to him.
And he is the Chicago Bears beat writer for the Chicago Sun-Times.
What a punishment.
And Jason just had a really funny message where he just pretended to really not understand who we were and what we did. And it was just really funny. So those are kind of things that stick in my head. And of course, Black in Time, which is just like, I mean, just the Kevin Durant, the map on Kevin Durant's very dry skin. It's so fucking funny.
And it was such a great, like, what I love about Black in Time is that they're all bangers. They were all funny.
I love RJ Barrett being in every single one.
I'm really proud of, like, whenever we follow through with an idea. So, like, chat, a lot of times we'll have an idea in our group chat. I would say we have a 10% conversion rate. That might be generous.
If that.
You're
smoothing it out too much.
I'm cap smoothing it out.
Cap smoothing, yeah.
We have a hard time remembering our ideas.
I mean, Moose and I had a great idea that I've just been busy and I haven't followed up on yet. That's gonna be a banger when it finishes, Moose.
Yeah, man. I don't remember it. Awesome.
I don't remember either.
The letter.
Oh yeah, I sent that to you the other day.
I forgot about that.
You did.
Yeah.
No, that one's gonna be a banger. I just gotta get in the lab. So
he's got a girlfriend, less time.
I have a girlfriend.
That's right. Can't even show up to a podcast on time.
I can't. You know what I mean? I have a girlfriend and anime to watch. You know, it's a busy schedule.
Yeah, and knowing you, anime is probably first, girlfriend second. You know,
absolutely. It's like anime, girlfriend, then yoga. It's a lot.
Then Heat Beat.
And then Heat Beat. No, well, Heat Beat more. I didn't. Heat Beat above her. I did Heat Beat and didn't answer her call, which I'm gonna call her back. I don't want to get in trouble.
I don't want to get in trouble.
I'm joking. Cat, I'm joking. Cat, I'm joking.
No, he's not.
So Kyle, we said
It was funny. She's like, who is Kyle Lowry and what is a lifer? And what is an apologist?
Oh my God.
I was like, I don't have the time to explain.
I can't explain this to you because we just started dating, and I need a girlfriend for at least 48 hours.
I love that man. That's all I love that man more than I'll ever love you. That's all you need to know. I miss him. Generally though, guys, thank you for the past 11 years to my staff, bro, to Brian, bro. Thank you for being with me all this time, bro. Moose, Frankie, Alf, Bond, Tiff, Lou, Pablo, even Pablo. Brass,
shout out the intern,
Jack,
Nikias.
I don't want to miss anybody. I mean, there's been so many people that have done stuff. Brian M, Jen, Christian,
yes,
Alex Toledo, Jablanca, Solana,
Joey Hafshad. I still don't know how to say his last name, but Joey.
Yeah, Joey, Leif, Ethan, Jack.
Ethan, thank you.
Ethan, thank you. I mean, Ethan was huge and instrumental. So, you know, a lot of dreams have come true here. You know, I was able to talk to my favorite athletes that kind of gave me the passion to do this. I did this on a whim. Brian and I didn't really know what we wanted in life. We just knew that we wanted to try this out. And 11 years later, we've been to weddings.
Still don't know what you want in life, but you got this. So
we've made friends that
we're happier now.
I'm very
Dreams
happy.
come true. He said it.
Dreams come true, baby.
We know what we wanted to do. We wanted to make a Heat Beat show or a Miami Heat podcast that was loosely gonna steal stuff at first from the Le Batard show, but then it became its own thing.
Now we found our own voice. We're our own voice, and we have a little bit.
But we were heavily influenced by Le Batard, that's for sure.
We have our own voice, and we have a little bit of history, and it's a shared history with everybody. And I think that means the most to me. I remember one day, and we could close with this. I was talking to Jack Alfonso about Heat Beat, and I said, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and I love doing this, but I get very tired. It's very exhausting. It takes a lot out of me. And Jack said, I don't even work there anymore, but if it ever goes away, I'm going to be so sad, because what you guys made is not just a podcast. That is not just a relationship between you and the audience. You have genuinely built a community that extends beyond what you say and your chat. It goes with all of us, and we take that with us everywhere. And that means the most to me. And that's all I've ever wanted. And the lifelong friends I've made through this mean the world to me. So I love you guys, the audience. I love everybody on this panel, everybody who's ever worked here, and, you know, viewers like you. What were you laughing at?
I have an announcement. Someone wrote Jack's chat from pre-gaming. It was like a very, very early pre-gaming.
I missed the hat.
Jack's
and his blazer he used to wear, that was so bad. So.
Oh my god,
man!
He had the boxiest blazer of all time.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I wanna. Can I announce one thing? Obviously, we're going to be doing podcasts during Pride Month, so I wanted to just show you guys what our latest mock-up is going to be for new Pride shirts for this year, which I will plan to get it up tonight so that you guys can order. And this is the design.
Ooh,
so
nice.
We got 11 stars representing 11 years of Miami Heat Beat, and then 4 of those stars are Pride stars because we've done now Pride shows 4 years in a row since we started Hangover Time.
Very cool. Let's
be able to order that. I believe tonight, if not tomorrow.
Shout out to Brian for doing shit on time.
MiamiHeatBeat.com, I think /store. Let me double check that real quick before I sign us off.
And I will give up my Tyler Hero.
MiamiHeatBeat.com.
My Tyler Hero Casey Bannerman jersey is going to be one of the prizes.
Oh, shit. I could use a second one. Nice.
Drip drop. We're no hard out, because I do want to say we be on the lookout for when we announce a date for our Pride show, and also stream Draft Beat. So Moose, Lou, Frankie, Brian, they're going to be on the Draft Beat, and be on the lookout for when they start getting ready to start digging into all the prospects and putting content out.
Very soon. Lou is
Did you get any Lowry gear on clearance? Yes, I was the clearance. I cleared it all.